So diving into today's topic of conversation is how to handle a behavioral questionnaire. Now, what I want to say is that, if in your resume you're saying that you have a high level of accountability and you're reliable, and then as a recruiter, I'm going to check that. I'm going to validate that through behavioral questioning. So my question to you might sound like, well, when was the last time you made a mistake and what did you do to resolve it? That's accountability. I'm trying to hear what the actual steps that you took in order to correct it, right? Were you accountable for that mistake? How did you handle that mistake? I don't want you to say, oh, I never made a mistake, because let's be honest, we're all human. Maybe you didn't make a very large mistake. Maybe it was just a small one. But again, I'm trying to understand you. I'm trying to hold you accountable to what you're saying on your resume, right? So what I'm looking for is for you to answer in the following manner. I noticed that I made a mistake, and it was actually a really small mistake, and I took a moment to take a look at the mistake and analyze it, and then I corrected and moved forward. If it was a larger mistake that you're conveying to me, you might want to say something along the lines of, so I took a look at the mistake, took account how much I had done that was wrong with the product or whatever it is that you're working on, and I either made the correction myself or I made the correction and notified my supervisor because it was the right thing to do given the project that you were working on, right? And then we were able to move forward. So I'm looking again to hear that accountability side of what you're stating in your resume. I want that validation, okay? But just to say I've never made a mistake, that doesn't come across very well. And so even if it's a small little thing, I would rather have you tell me about that small mistake rather than just saying, I don't make mistakes. It doesn't come off in a very good light. It doesn't want to make me pursue you because I make mistakes. I am not perfect. And I know that I have taken the necessary steps, and if I needed to notify my supervisor, that is what I did. And other times there were just small little mistakes and I was okay, I just fixed it myself and I moved on. So again, nobody's perfect, and if you are going to include accountability, and good work ethics, I'm gonna hold you accountable to that. I'm gonna want to know exactly what you did. So again, if you are stating in your resume that you're reliable and that you're accountable and whatever else you're including in that, make sure that you have a really good example of those traits, because most likely you're going to be asked about them. So, just providing a general, answer isn't going to really cut the mustard, as they say. So with that said, hopefully you gain a little bit of insight on how to answer behavioral questionnaires. There are so many behavioral questions that could be put to you. There's just, oh my gosh, there's hundreds depending on your industry. And so, if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them. I'm always open and reachable through my social media sites, and all of those links are in the description box below. So I do hope you've gained a little bit of insight on how to answer the behavioral questions a little bit better. There are a plethora of questions, and depending on your industry, some of them get a lot more involved than just tell me about a time when you made a mistake. Certainly for those of you who are software developers, you know all about the whiteboard testing, and that's an even more in-depth, and although that's on a behavioral questionnaire, but it is trying to uncover how you handle coding situations, resolving for problems in your code, and so forth. So with that said, do feel free to reach out to me, and I do have all of my social media links in the description box. And with that said, hopefully you are having a wonderful day and a great rest of your week ahead. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.